Hey, what's up? Tyler here, and in today's video, I want to teach you and just share with you an experience that we just recently had that helped me manifest something in a very short amount of time, and it was our ideal house. So we've been looking to get our house for many years, and just because we're entrepreneurs, it's been difficult to set and show like, okay, here's how, even though we have like 100,000 in the bank because of XYZ, we can't do it or whatever. Like always something weird in the housing market. And now we're in this year where housing market has like skyrocketed here in Utah where we were talking to some friends just the other day ago, and they said for them to acquire their house, not only did it take like 2 days of going in and like within 2 days the house was sold, they also had to overbid like $40,000. So they had to meet all the expectations plus some. And I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. And I believe that if we set our intentions to what we want and know what we don't want and get rid of the allergy of what we don't want and get rid of the addiction of what we or get rid of the addiction of what we don't want and the allergy of what we do want, then we'll be able to attain what we want in a fraction of the time. So what we did is during this market, I was like, okay, I want to buy the house. I want to buy it based on what we can qualify for. I want to be able to get it where there's no fighting, where it's super win-win-win. And like they'd have like 8 to 10 different offers here. And it's just crazy. The market's insane. So I was like, I don't want to deal with all that. I want to have a very spiritual experience, number one. I want it to be something that is going to help my kids so that I can raise my kids in a very loving way. And I want it to be a place where we can really serve and give back and grow and expand and help the community and help in the church and help in my job and just like really give back and have the location of where we need to be very transformational. So we started looking for houses almost 2 months ago, and we wrote down a list of everything we wanted in a house. And then we got some more information and we thought, well, maybe we'll get a smaller house. Maybe we'll buy a house, live in it for 3 months and then sell it and then get into a bigger house. And we just had a baby like 5 weeks ago. So we're all like, everything's happening so fast. We have a baby and then we want to move and we're growing our business and everything. So I thought, okay, well, what is it that we really want? That's the first thing. You got to be very specific on what you want. So what is it that we want? We wrote it down, details. Okay, we want the house to be the feeling of the house. We want it to be the spirituality of the house. So all the things we wanted to create. We want it to be this size. We want it to be this price range. We want it to be this type of feel. We want it to be a place that has land. We want it to be this and this and this. We want a mother-in-law. We want a room and an apartment. And we want all these pieces. So after we wrote it all down, my wife's like, look, there aren't very many houses like this that pop up. And those that do, they're gone within 2 days and you have to overbid $30,000, $40,000. So she's looking around. She's literally looked at like 2,000 houses and just online, just going through. And we have a realtor. He's sending us houses, all sorts of stuff. And in my mind, I know the power of alignment. I know the power of knowing what you want and holding to it, not settling for something less. So there's all these houses that are coming up. So she picks 3 of them. We're going to go see them on Saturday. This was not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before. And so we're like, great, we're going to go see these houses. I get sick. And I don't hardly ever get sick. And I get sick and I'm like, man, I don't want to go see these houses. Like I'm not feeling very good. So she gets really frustrated. She spent all this time doing research and figuring out which houses to look at. And she's like wanting to give up. She's like, oh my gosh, like the houses that we're going to go see, they're going to be gone in 2 days. So she gets an impression and going back, well, a week before this, what we did an alignment. So we mapped out all the details. We vocalized the vision. And it was basically me stating and her stating how awesome it was going into the house, how we felt about it, what it looked like, and seeing all the rooms. So a very detailed vision of what we wanted. And while we were visualizing and speaking it out loud, we also aligned, and anybody can do this simple version of the alignment, where we basically just stated the goal. Like, I'm so thankful and grateful now that we have our ideal house. Everything works out just how we want it and with as little resistance as possible. And it's super easy and simple. Something like that. We vocalized it. I tapped any resistance. And then I just did the alignment process where you tap and breathe through the nose and out through the mouth and smile. And if you want to learn more about that, there's some links in the videos that can teach you, and I've done videos on it. We do courses, but for now, just know that we did a simple version of the alignment. And as we did this, it took probably about an hour of visualizing, talking, going through, stating all the negative doubts. There's no way we can get it. We're going to have to overbid. Our loan won't go through, like all the stuff, all the doubts, all the uncertainties. We just voice it, tap where we felt it, and then aligned it till there was nothing left. Took about an hour, and we stated any positive things that we didn't feel like were real. So this is just going to happen. It's going to be a very spiritual experience. It's going to be super easy. They're going to be saving the house for us. They're going to be wanting just to give it to us because of who we are. So we stated all the things we wanted and then did a quick alignment, tapped where any resistance, and aligned. Fast forward, so that was a week before then Saturday happens. I get sick. We can't see the houses. And we also did a very spiritual prayer to say, okay, and I'm a God believer. So I was like, okay, God, here's what we wanted. Here's what we've aligned to. Help us find the place that you want us to be, where it'll grow us the most, make the biggest impact, and that it'll be a really spiritual experience for us. So we prayed all these things. We aligned all these things. And now we're just holding the space, doing our part. She's getting frustrated now. She's had all these experiences happen and all the houses fell through because I couldn't go. And she's bummed, right? She's like, dang, this is all this work. So Sunday happens and she gets an impression. Now, hopefully there's some good lessons you can learn out of this. Because we are striving to be in tune and not just do what we want, but to do what's good for the whole universe as a whole and what our higher power wants, she was led, inspired, to do some family research. So she goes on some apps that she has, and her grandpa's mom pops up like 3 or 4 times. And she's like, I wonder who this is. And she goes through and looks at this person, and it's some person from Erda, Utah, and she has this impression that this is the person who's going to help us find a house. The day before, there was one listing that popped up in Erda, Utah, but it was somewhere where we never thought of looking. And so she shows it to me, and she didn't tell me about this experience because she thought I might think it was weird, which I don't know why, because I do weird stuff all the time. But anyway, she was like, hey, check this out. What do you think about this house? And I was like, well, it's got nice property. It's a little different than what we wanted, but actually it might be what we actually want, which is also a key. And I thought, let's check it out. Like, maybe it's good. So we reached out to the owners. They were they were selling it themselves to save money for the buyer. And we go to the house, and it felt so good. And I was like, wow, this is like what we need. On the way back home, we just knew this is what we needed to do. So they said that there was someone else putting in an offer, but we put in our intention that there would be no fights. It would be super simple. It would just be really easy, and it'd be a very spiritual experience. And that night, we put in the offer. We sent them offer, and they didn't sign the other person's. They signed ours. And we told them about our experience that was very spiritual. And they said, yeah, the other offer, it just felt off. It didn't feel like it was the right thing. And I thought, holy cow, wow. And then within 24 hours, we had contract signed, and we put earnest money down and everything. And there was no fighting. We didn't have to overbid. It was exactly how we wanted it. It was super spiritual, super connecting, and it just felt so good. And it was very quick. So I look back on that experience, and there's several principles that no matter what it is that you're trying to attain, that can happen for you. No matter what it is you're trying to manifest, where it's to make more money, have better health, find a house, whatever it might be. Several of those principles are: number 1, map out what you want. What do you want? Number 2, know what you don't want. That's important. Most people know what they don't want, but they don't know what they really want. So map out both. The thing you want is usually what you're allergic to. The thing you don't want is usually what you're addicted to. So realize that. So if you're not attaining what you want, it's because you're fighting and fighting against these things. So we map out what we want, then voice it, visualize it, and then align it. Align it so that every single part of you is believing it and nothing is resisting it. The next thing, incorporate your higher power. Incorporate the power of the universe. Because I believe that if you are going for your goal and there's a reason bigger than just for self success, if you incorporate spirituality into it, your results will speed up drastically because there's a bigger purpose behind it than other than just attainment. It's for transformation. So make it become a spiritual experience. That's super important. It's helped me grow my business. It's helped me in so many ways. So make it be a spiritual experience. That's the second piece. Third piece is, so after you are, I guess it's the fourth piece. So first, outline what you want, what you don't want. Second, align as you vocalize what it is that you desire. Third thing, make it a spiritual experience. And the fourth thing is by far one of the most important pieces. It's hold the space and expect it. So for my wife, she was like, oh my goodness, like there's no way this is going to happen. Like out of all the houses, the likelihood is so slim. But I know that if we're aligned to it, so I just kept refreshing my anchor point, reliving that vision and holding to it, expecting and knowing that we were meant to have what we want. Then that thing came even if it didn't come how we thought it would or where we thought it would. So be open to seeing different things play out. Be open to having it happen a different way. Don't be tied to the how. That doesn't mean don't settle, but don't be tied to the how. And if you're open, you allow it to be a spiritual experience. You're not tied to the how, but you hold the expectation that it will happen. And you can do that through maintaining the alignment, through refreshing your anchor point, if you learned about that in the courses. If you don't know about that, then just think it and intend it and have it be that way. Cool? All right. So do that. It's very powerful, and I hope this has helped inspire you for something that you're working on, no matter what's going against it. Remember, everything is a frequency. So that if you align to what you want and hold that level of frequency and expectation, that thing will happen regardless of all the evidence against it. And that is what I want to share with you today, is that you can take control of your life. You can see what you want, see what you don't want, align yourself so you're in integrity, that you get rid of the fight-flight responses, and you expect results. You hold yourself expecting and knowing that it's coming, it's happening, and no matter what happens in the economy, in the universe, whatever, you are your own unique creator. You can create no matter what happens outside of you. Logically, that shouldn't have happened. But what we do isn't logical. So we do is emotional, spiritual, and transformational with a little bit of logic. But what it is a creation, right? So you are a powerful creator. You are born to create. Remember that. Keep that in mind as you move forward. Create with purpose. I just want to thank you for taking the time to watch this. Go through, apply these principles. And if you want to learn more, if you want to understand more about the alignment, I suggest starting with the 10-day challenge. It's called Find Your Unstoppable 10-Day Challenge. The link's in the description. And you can check out more on that and see all the cool testimonies of what people have created, even just in 10 days. So if you want to have some sort of processes to go through and learn new tools of creation, then join the challenge. In the meantime, if you don't want to do that, or even if you do, be sure and follow these steps and let me know how it goes. Drop a comment below, and I like to reply to those and see what you guys are doing. So thank you so much for watching this, and we'll see you in the next video.